I'm ready for this one. Scary TikTok stories, TikTok compilation by Moon Bunny. Hey, I'm not gonna cap to you. I already told you, when it comes to like scary stuff, horror stuff, all that stuff, hey, TikTok be having the best ones. Be fire, dog. But I do feel like when it comes to ghosts and like paranormal type of ish, TikTok be the most capped too, bro. You like, it'd be so hard to believe anything over there. But hey, don't matter. If I check out scary TikTok stories, TikTok compilation, once you got to watch your video, link will be in the description below. But let's go. Boom, motherfucker.
This is the most scary and dangerous animal to ever live on Earth. This is Titanoboa. This is an ancient snake that lived over 58 million years ago. And according to scientists, for nearly 10 million years, it was the largest predator on the planet. Titanoboa's length was 43 feet long, and its weight was well over a ton. This snake was so big that you can lay 2 giraffes on the ground, and Titanoboa will still be longer. If you still can't comprehend how big this snake was, on the left is a vertebrae of an anaconda, which is the biggest snake on the planet right now, and on the right is the vertebrae of Titanoboa. It is so much more bigger than the anacondas. Titanoboa was 3 feet in width.
Is this like real? I ain't never heard no Titanoboa. Is like for real? Or is this like what people would be like thinking, like the Megalodon?
It is so much more bigger than the anacondas. Titanoboa was 3 feet in width, and Titanoboa can swallow a hippopotamus whole. Titanoboa was a bloodthirsty predator who ate everything in water and land. Everybody on Earth is super lucky Titanoboa is not around anymore.
Hell yeah.
This is the scary story about the hairdo. There was a middle-aged woman.
It was funny 'cause I was just peeping out bro hairdo. His shit on Elvis style and shit.
It's the scary story about the hairdo. There was a middle-aged woman who always wore her hair in a bun. She was very proud of her hairdo and thought she was the most fashionable of all her friends. The woman was very lazy and she didn't like spending the time cleaning her hair or styling it. Instead, she just left her hair how it was and she never even washed it. Whenever she took a shower, she would wear a shower cap so the water didn't mess up her hair. After a while, her hair began to smell, so she used hairspray to cover the smell. One morning, the woman did not come down for breakfast, so her husband went up to the bedroom to wake her up. To his horror, he discovered that his wife had died during the night. At first, the police thought she might have had a heart attack. However, when they conducted an autopsy, they examined her hair and found something terrifying. A black widow spider made a nest in her hair and laid many eggs. When the
nasty ass, you should have washed your hair. I can't even feel bad for this. I don't even know if it's true for real though. Kind of nasty ass shit that you spray hairspray on the dog. Get your ass in the shower. Wash that. That's nasty. You did get in the shower. He said that because you put the cap on.
Something terrifying. A black widow spider made a nest in her hair and laid many eggs. When the baby spiders hatched, they had bitten through her skull and ate their way into her brain. This is a scary story about the strange dream. One summer day, a kid named Chris lost his footing and fell off a cliff. He landed on a ledge and it saved his life, but he was badly injured and had to be rescued. He hit his head on the fall and he was unconscious. The doctors found swelling in his brain, and he had to get surgery immediately. After the surgery, he went into a coma. A few days later, he recovered, and his friend went to go visit him in the hospital. Chris then told him about the strange dream he had while he was unconscious. In the dream, he was at a train station. There was nobody else in sight. When the train pulled up to the station, he got in. There was nobody on the train. He was completely alone. Then he heard a crackling voice on the speakers. It said, "Next stop, final stop. Next stop, end of line." Something about the announcement sent a chill down his spine, and he jumped out of his seat and managed to get off the train. Just as the doors were closing, he woke up from his coma. The doctor said he was between life and death. He then said to his friend, "If I hadn't gotten off that train, I believe the end of the line meant I would have died."
Hey, bruh. And that's creepy because it's kind of like, you ever feel like sometimes, we talked about it before, like, dog, I'm in this world alone. Sometimes it hits you like, I'm alone as hell right now, dog. But not like, as in like, you just legit feel like, no, yeah, as in like, you just feel like nobody else here but you. Like, you don't feel not a soul. You just be like, man, like, this feel weird.
I believe the end of the line meant I would have died.
This is why you always say yes to tandoori chicken. In 2012, a high school tutor and her student stayed up so late one night studying that by the time they were done, the buses had stopped running. Without another way home, the student asked if he could stay the night at her place. Reluctantly, she agreed. When they got back to the apartment, she fell asleep on her bed and he fell asleep on a blanket next to her bed on the ground. A few hours later, she wakes up to the boy standing awkwardly in the middle of the room with a very strange look on his face. She asks him, "What's wrong?" He looks at her and says, "I'm really hungry. Let's go get some tandoori chicken." Confused, she says, "It's 2 a.m. Just get a snack in the cupboard." And he grabs her by the arm and he says, "No, we are getting tandoori chicken right now." And he yanks her from the bed. Feeling totally caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, "I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed."
Oh, yeah, I think I heard this story before. I don't know if I watched it with y'all before. I watched the legit type of scary type of video like based on the story before. Dang it, did I watch it with y'all? I heard that story before. Hey, but the crazy part is, the whole time I'm like, he about to freaking kill her. I'm like, her being goofy and letting him stay the night legit saved her life though, which is crazy.
Says, "I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed."
What if he was
This
capping?
has to be the worst form of torture ever. I still can't believe that this form of torture is real and is this bad. The form of torture I'm talking about is white room torture. It is basically where prisoners are isolated in white rooms, wear white clothes, and eat white food from white plates. Now you might be thinking, how could this be that bad? Well, white room torture is a form of psychological torture concerning complete isolation and sensory deprivation of the prisoners.
Gosh.
So you see nobody else and you hear absolutely nothing except for yourself.
Oh.
All you get served too is white rice.
Ooh. And you will legit get to the point you start looking at yourself. You know, you look at yourself in VR in the game and you legit be looking at your hands. You would get to that, bro. Your mind will legit get to that point because that's all you're seeing. And there's no mirrors neither, so you're not seeing yourself. Hey, that'll legit drive somebody crazy, dog. Damn, I ain't never heard of that.
And sensory deprivation of the prisoners. So you see nobody
like
else and you hear absolutely nothing except for yourself. All you get served too is white rice on a white plate. Oh, and if you need to go to the bathroom, they'll slip you a white paper under the door for you to poop on, and then you slip it right back under when you're done.
Oh,
this form of torture is so bad that the prisoner loses his own identity in the process. You cannot remember who you are, and you can't remember any of your family. The result of this torture is the loss of identity and forgetting everything you ever knew. You come out of this room a completely different person.
So what if? Oh, what if? You know how people be saying like people get locked up, then they be clones. What if they do? What if they did Gucci like that? What if they do people like that, dog? We gotta whisper right now because you don't want them to hear us, dog. Dang that! Oh my gosh! Hey, I ain't like that one was hella good because I never heard of that.
You can't remember any of your family. The result of this torture is the loss of identity and forgetting everything you ever knew. You come out of this room a completely different person.
Damn.
Yes, the picture at the end is real. In 1876, a woman from a very prominent family in Paris goes missing. After years go by...
Go back, because I was still tripping on the white room. Go back. Oh my gosh.
Yes, the picture at the end is real. In 1876, a woman from a very prominent family in Paris goes missing. After years go by and no one has a clue what happened to this woman, friends and family ultimately mourn her death and move on. 25 years later, and this anonymous letter shows up on the Attorney General's desk, claiming that the missing woman's family had a secret. Intrigued by the letter, the police go to the family's home, show it to them, and ask to search the property, to which they say, go for it. They search, they don't find anything, but on the way out, they notice something very peculiar. At the end of some stairs was a door that was padlocked shut. When the family refused to open it, the police break it down and make a horrifying discovery. Cowering on a rotten straw mattress in a pitch black room was the missing woman, now 50 years old and extremely malnourished. Her mother had imprisoned her there after they had fought over her boyfriend, and she had not seen sunlight or another human being in 25 years.
What the? Oh my gosh, bro. Hey, I just watched this one movie, bro. It's so hard to watch, but damn, it was scary. It was like this dad. I want to say stepdad or real dad. I don't know. He was getting into it with his daughter. She was getting at that age where she was getting all like snotty and stuff, a little bit, getting like a boyfriend. So he.
my goodies, not my goodies.
Gosh, I don't want to spoil it because I don't know if you haven't seen it. I think I just watched it randomly on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but you gotta look it up if you're into them type of movies. Whew. That is crazy,
And
dog.
she had not seen sunlight or another human being in 25 years.
That's crazy.
Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory, Part 8. This shadow is permanently etched on the steps of Hiroshima following the nuclear explosion that killed over 70,000 people. The boy in this photo is Estevan Reiner. The Nazis who took his photo made him put this uniform on, smile for the picture, and knew exactly what his fate would be. 2 weeks later, he was killed in a gas chamber. A similar story for this girl whose photo was just taken by a Nazi photographer after Germany had just invaded Poland. You can tell by her smile that she had no idea what was to come. This photo shows 3 young girls smiling together for a selfie. On the right hand side of the photo, you can see a light which is the headlight of a train which hits them moments later. While this photo...
Clout, man. The ish, I'm trying to stop cussing, dog. The ish people be doing for clout, man.
This photo shows 3 young girls smiling together for a selfie. On the right hand side of the photo, you can see a light which is the headlight of a train which hits them moments later.
Come on.
While this photo appears to be just an ordinary large class photo, the 2 boys at the top left are responsible for the Columbine High School shooting, which at the time was the worst high school shooting in American history and killed 12 students and 1 teacher.
Now don't be fooled by this photo because this story is called The Demon Dog. For the short term they knew him, they called him Shanks. So if you haven't guessed it yet, Shanks is an American pit bull. But ever since Mark found Shanks, there was just something off. See, Shanks was fit, tough, and a very strong looking dog. But when you looked into his eyes, there was something evil that wanted to get out. But Shanks was a stray. He was found covered in blood months ago. The vet said that it was blood from a carcass or something that he had eaten to try and survive. But after we saw Shanks attack Robin Warmont while she was hanging out her washing, we knew it wasn't for survival. You see, Robin was 8 months pregnant when Shanks hunted her down and attacked her. Police said that they couldn't even recognise her once he'd finished ripping her apart. And unfortunately, neither her or her unborn baby survived. Since he ran away that day, 3 of his past owners have stepped forward, all with gruesome stories about Shanks. And all have refused to describe to police what he looks like, because he still stalks.
Boy, niggas in the hood. You know how many pit bulls I've been chased by, dog? I'm not even trying to be funny, dead ass. You get so tired of running from them niggas. This why, bro, look. This why when I moved to the birds, it pees me off. Excuse me. It pees me off when I see people just walking their dogs and no leash on them or everything. I don't care how much something in my eye. I don't care how much you think you know your dog. Hey, don't let your dog walk past me without no leash. Because I heard that story too many times. Oh, yeah, he don't bite. Oh, yeah, I know you good. Just don't move. Stop playing with me, dog. That's crazy, man.
All have refused to describe to police what he looks like, because he still stalks.
MLK?
In 2012, 2 brothers were playing in the backyard when they noticed their dog digging next to the shed. The dad was so frustrated by this, he put up a fence from the dog. The dog broke down the fence and he kept digging up. What's crazy is the dog collapsed and died in the hole. And this is where this story about the shed gets freaky. A week or so later, some friends came over with their dog too, and their dog did the same thing and died in the hole as well. Hearing the children cry, the neighbour came over and he explained to them about the prior owners of the house. He told them that the owner had killed stray dogs and buried them underneath the house. The parents were disturbed by this, so they contacted the police. When they started digging up the shed, they not only found a pet cemetery, but they also found bodies in the backyard. Police went next door to question the old man that had come over and told them all about the pet cemetery, but turns out he had died more than 10 years ago.
What the Hold up. So is this a true story? Like, was this what Pet Cemetery was based off? Yeah, look quick, make sure ain't nobody in the mirror. But Pete, though, is this what Pet Cemetery was based off of, or is this? Because I ain't gonna lie, the story kind of sounds like one of those tales that people tell that's like, oh, this was hella good type of story. But I don't know though.
But turns out he had died more than 10 years ago.
This is the creepy story about the first boyfriend. There was a girl named Rachel who just got her first boyfriend. She was so happy and never felt this way before in her life. Every day she brought him over her house, and her dad began to get annoyed because she wasn't spending that much time with him anymore. One day, Rachel's dad told her that her boyfriend was not allowed over the house anymore. Rachel began screaming and crying and ran up the stairs and went to her room. A couple days later, Rachel decided to sneak her boyfriend in the house one night. When her boyfriend got to the house, Rachel tiptoed down the stairs and let him in. Then they went to her room. About 30 minutes later, her boyfriend had to go to the bathroom. Rachel whispered to him to be quiet. After 10 minutes, her boyfriend was still not back, so she went out to see what was taking him so long. But right when she opened her door, her dad was standing there covered in blood, and behind him laid her boyfriend's dead body. Her dad then looked at her with a smile on his face and said, "Nobody will ever take my little girl from me."
I thought you were going to say that he killed
Here's the truth behind Minions. So we all remember Minions from Despicable Me, but they're not what you think they are. The truth is, Minions are based off a horrific Nazi experiment that took place in 1944. This crazy German scientist manipulated Jewish kids and turned them into slaves. Heavy metal helmets would be forced onto the children so they can't speak or see properly. The helmets were so heavy that they'd stunt the children's growth, so they'd be short, just like Minions.
I can guarantee that the end of this video is going to shock you. There was a young girl who had trouble making friends because her mom wouldn't let her play with the other kids in the neighborhood. One day, the mom left to go to the store, so she snuck outside of the house. She grabbed her teddy bear and went outside, but still, none of the kids wanted to play with her. Eventually, a strange-looking boy approached her and said that he wanted to be her friend. The little girl was thrilled to finally have a friend her age, and he eventually asked if she wanted to come to his house to play. When they arrived, the little girl was confused, because the house appeared to be abandoned like no one had been in there for years. They walked into his garden and immediately the girl threw up. She asked him for some water and he just smiled at her creepily and said, "You're going to sleep here sometime soon." Weeks later, the girl went looking for him and he was nowhere to be found. Soon, a paper airplane flew to her and it was a newspaper clipping. She opened it up to find that the boy she'd been playing with went missing 9 years ago.
I knew it. I knew it. I don't know, hey, but the dream one, the bro that was on the train, whatever, that one really had me thinking, because when it comes to dreams, I always look at it like, yeah, that's like your entrance to like the parallel universe. I don't know, I always look at it like that, whatever. So I was like wondering, like, because lately I've been kind of wondering more and more about my dreams, and I told you we ain't gonna talk too much about it because we did a lot of talking about this on the last video, whatever. Freaking freaky-ish too, dog. But I just been really getting in touch with understanding the dream world and dreaming and how things work. And I told you now, and I'm not capping. Like, I did it once, I haven't done it again. But it's just like, I was inside of my dream and able to tell myself, like, yo, this is a dream. It's not real. And the reason why I knew it was because, like, y'all know my mom just passed, whatever. I told y'all. So I was in the kitchen, and my sister was in the kitchen as well with me. And we were just cooking. It was like a holiday or something. And my mom walked in to taste the food, whatever. But when she walked in to taste it, I knew. I was shocked. I was like, and I looked at my sister and I was like, and my sister was just like talking to her normal. And I was like, you see mom right now? And she was like, yeah. So what's wrong with you? And my mom was just tasting the food, whatever. And I instantly knew. I was like, my mom is dead. And I was like, this is a dream. 100%, I kid you not. I probably sound crazy right now. I'm not crazy. Okay, listen to me. I legit told myself that in the dream. I talked about this last video, dude. I was like, this is a dream. And when I woke up, I kept repeating it over and over to myself, because you know, for some reason you can't remember your dreams. Like it's weird. Like it's like someone be trying to hurt but wipe them away from you. But I kept telling myself over and over and over. The only reason why I didn't write it down because it's now documented on the last video, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. I always remember this. I don't know, but so the dream one just kind of had me thinking, because I was already worried about the dream world. But yo, my bad for the long rant. Hey, this was hella good to me. Only a few of them I felt like were kind of like cap, just like fairy tale type stories, which were good though. But hey, I'm about to go get up out of here.